Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Happy New Week to you. Thank you for joining us today on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. It is really a beautiful morning, quite a chilly night. The Harmattan is now here. Actually, nature works wonders at times. You know, many persons around there were thinking the Harmattan is supposed to be in December, you know, but then it is what it is. Femi Ojo is my name, and I welcome you. Topper welcomes you as well. Topper, good morning.
Good morning.
Lady in red. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to you, dear Nigerians. It's a beautiful morning. We're super glad to welcome you about this installment and this week. We hope that it's a productive and successful week for each and every one of us, from us here and to you. My name is Timmy Tokwe, and you know what we do for you on the show is to bring you abreast of issues around you and to bring you quality analysis, newspaper review, then quality analysis on some of the most effective issues around the polity. Welcome this morning.
Right, welcome. And of course, are you, the Harmattan is here, actually?
It is. I noticed that while I was on my way to work this morning, and I felt, wow. I mean, throughout December, we didn't see the green light of Harmattan. But then it decided to visit us in January, and we are all for it.
Well, you are all for it, only for, you know, the young people, children, actually calling. It's quite hard waking them up early.
Exactly, yes.
Because as you are talking, they are calling to the other side, and you know, even you as the parent, you know, it's just because you must go out.
Several of them are resuming school today.
Some resumed last week, some are resuming. And so
wish those who have resumed and those who are just resuming this week happy resumption. And parents, do take note. Harmattan is outside. It's cold outside, like they say. So please kit up the kids for, you know, the weather.
And you know, many interesting children will tell you they don't want sweaters. Some of them will tell you they don't want, but it's you that will say
enforcement.
Enforcement. That's the word. You are who, Oga?
That's where enforcement comes in.
All right, and of course on the program we look at headlines from different dailies so that we are informed and properly you know, abreast of the information around us. And of course, we then get talking at the other side of that. It is Morning Spring o'clock. So much to look into, so much to talk about. Actually, especially the issues of security that is still just there. And you know, before I saw a particular tweet from someone, and I've seen it on various you know, platforms and all of those things that has to do with you know, somebody, I think a Nigerian who lives in Germany, actually, who talks about who highlighted what that country, Germany, does for him. And actually, I hope I could see the tweet. It has gone really viral now. Yeah, so that we can, you know, put side by side. When you're talking about people's responsibility, there must be people's rights as well. Because if you are telling people to be patriotic and support the government and do what they are supposed to do, then they will tell you what is in it for us. How is the government of my nation supporting me now? And maybe it's up for verification. You know, that particular tweet is generated or has generated. Yesterday afternoon when I checked it, it was around 500 comments or thereabout. This morning is around 1,600 comments. And of course, it's from one Dr. Barido Baden. And he says, and it was talking about the new tax laws, how much you pay.
It was going to be from that.
And when you do your part, the way you are supposed to do your part,
the people will be
what you cannot fall back on, the support you will now get from you doing your part. And he highlighted, and I hope people can verify as well. And he lives in Germany. He said, number one, he highlighted a couple of reasons here, or the things that he gets to benefit. He said, I pay 42% tax every month in Germany. That's quite high.
42%.
42%. Many of these Schengen nations pay as much as that. Finland, Sweden, but that's why you have free education in those countries. And that's the point he's trying to make, to say you pay, especially he was talking about Germany, 42% of your income as tax. But then, number one, if I lose my job, the government pays me 60% of my salary and help to find a new one. Number two, I have access to 3 years leave if I have a baby, with a percentage of my salary, and my job will wait for me until I resume.
Did you say 3 years?
3 years. Of course. I will possibly, in the course of the program, we might get to put it up. I have access to 3 years leave. Access to 3 years leave if I have a baby, with a percentage of my salary, and my job will wait for me until I resume. Number three, education is free in government or schools from primary to PhD. Education is free in government schools from primary to PhD. Number four, for every child I have, they get paid 250 euros monthly until they turn 18. They get paid 250 euros monthly until they turn 18. 5, I can buy a monthly ticket of 65 euros monthly. A monthly ticket of 56 euros monthly. I can travel all around the country via train, not high speed. And he put a caveat, not high speed trains, normal trains and buses, which is 56 euros. You can travel the entire country. Number 6, at any emergency, once you call the ambulance, it arrives within 20 minutes. Within 20 minutes, anywhere, according to him. Number 7, defibrillators and SOS access are available at every train station and highways. Every train station. Remember the defibrillator that was quite a luxury during COVID, that we had to be begging the Kakovit to get us defibrillators. That is looking like something from the Mars. And he said it's available in all those places. Number 8, if I get stuck in a country, I call the government and they come to my support. Now, these are 8 reasons here. And he now said, you that will pay about 30% tax, excuse me, you that will pay about 30% tax in Nigeria. That was, you know, he now said other things that was quite political and all of those things, but that is not the point. The point is, when he does his part, he knows his part is pay 42% of whatever I'm earning and all of these things. Now, I might not be able to verify some of these things he has put up, but I can verify like 2 people who give birth and the government start paying them from day 0. Those children, day 0, meaning you are our citizen. We are contributing
to your upbringing.
That is it. So when I think it will be very much more better when you are telling the people to be patriotic and people can see what exactly you are doing for them.
That particular point you gave about the government having an input in your upbringing, it also points me to, or it sort of reminds me of the time the federal government was saying that the doctors, they owe them a particular time of their life to work in the country before leaving. You remember that time?
Quite a controversial view that was raised by one funny senator.
Saying that medicine has been subsidized and all of this.
That the government really subsidized.
I'm not going to think, yes, you subsidize their training, it's not free. I mean, parents still bleed through their noses to put those children to school. Look at this. And it's coming from a place of entitlement. I don't think a government in Germany would say that, oh, you owe us. Despite the fact that you could actually see these people who have been so much invested in all the
from day 0
to 18. I mean, that's like a lot. I mean, you're a teenager at that time, and you're almost a youth. And so in your youthful years, it's just about a few years, and you're already getting a job.
The last point the person made here, that means the government, since they are part of your life, he said anywhere he is, if there is a problem, all he needs to is to connect. Because that means the government will see that their baby is somewhere.
Now, Nigeria,
that person cannot be stranded.
Nigeria is not, you can't call, well, we've not, I mean, some people may have tried it, and some people will tell you that they're not swift. I mean, they're left alone. Look at the rules that just came up, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, about students who are on scholarship, about federal government scholarship, and saying that, oh, we have not abandoned you. There may be few delays and all of this. Look at that.
That they are stranded.
That they are stranded.
And it's a pattern.
Look at That's it.
You remember the NCDC probe?
That's
children from the Niger Delta were part of those stranded at the point.
Exactly.
And whoever stole the money belonging to them, nothing happened to them. So how can you call for petrol? Now, I'm sure many persons will see this and say we are not being factual, because some will say, why are you it's easy for us to say, why are you comparing apples with oranges? Why are you comparing Nigeria with Germany? We are not talking about the prosperity here. We are talking alone. We are talking about the responsibility. Being responsible. And it has become more terrible now when you're talking about first responders, especially with the Anthony Joshua situation, that such a thing happened, and why the road safety was saying they are there, or everybody was saying within 3 minutes, all of those things. It was seen that Anthony Joshua was put, after he escaped the accident, he was put on the front seat of an Hilux car, not an ambulance, actually. So these are some of the issues. So people will say, oh, why are you talking like this? Germany with Nigeria? That's not the point. The point is, do we have leaders?
What's the point about Germany with Nigeria?
They will tell you you are comparing Nigeria with an European country.
Oh, really?
One of the big countries in Europe.
Can we compare Nigeria to some other African countries? Can we compare Nigeria to Rwanda?
South Africa.
Thank you. To South Africa. And that's why when all of this bros, when football comes in, they speak to something. Remember when they said Nigeria was a blackout country or whatever?
That's just banters.
Banters. But they are our reality.
Yeah.
The other time, I was seeing a jab by Algeria the other time. Well, kudos to Super Eagles. I'm so glad. But we're going to come to that. Talking about the jab that they were throwing, saying that they were going to send the Super Eagles back to Sambisa for it. That's because those things exist. They are banters, but they're banters from facts.
Yeah, from reality.
From our reality. Anyway, I'm talking about all
But I hope we get better, actually. And who was
that
better?
country built themselves. And that's what we're saying. That's the point of this whole juxtaposition. We need to build Nigeria from where we are. So talking about INEC saying that there's a missing fund. I mean, Serap is on their neck. Talking about missing money, a lot of those.
Let's get started.
We are not supposed to be
this morning. Yeah. And that's why we must put it as well for people who default in taxes. That is why many of these countries, Germany, US, UK, if you avoid taxes in those nations, they will treat you as armed robbers, because that's what you are. Because if you are supposed to pay a particular amount and you are not paying it, and you are enjoying what others are paying for, they will treat you. In fact, most of these nations, especially in the US, they go for the top guys so that they can mess you up and make an example of you to the others. And they are, let me say in colloquial Nigerian English, their mouth, you go reach them, and no one at all. That's what I mean. Because they can tell you, this is our investment in your life. Why are you stealing from us?
And speaking about a no matter thing, I was just saying online that from the paper Punch particularly how Chimamanda's lawyers write Lagos Hospital about, and then the doctor that attended to their child, has been suspended. They can't do that. I mean, if it were a typical Nigerian, an average Nigerian, that will not be coming up. Lawyers will not be entering the issue, talking about the fact that they wanted the hospital records, talking about how they feel that there was negligence and all of those.
Alleged medical negligence
into the child's death
of the boy.
Exactly. If it were an average Nigerian, that's because they come from a system where institutions, the system is working. They come from a country where the system is working. I was also saying from that particular report that there was a team, ready-made team right there in the United States, waiting for the child, to be prepared. So it was in the process of the procedural preparation that that particular incident happened. Well, it's calling to question some of our institutions. People are speaking up. I mean, this is a good development where we are having somebody reeling out what obtains in all the countries so that Nigerians can begin to wake up. And this is the government's responsibility. Yes. We cannot keep heaping responsibilities and duties
on people,
on citizens, while the government is being laid back.
Or some few guys are just feeding fat and buying card.
Well, we're forgiving our monies that are supposed to go into this hospitals.
All right. No. So much, the Chimamanda situation, the loss of her child, quite terrible. And just like you said, maybe it's is because it's Chimamanda, who has a name, who has a platform, who has the ears. So many things have happened in that way. And because of the psyche of people that have suffered those losses, you know, the family members will just say, you know, God will do better ones. And everybody just recite. That's what happens around here. Because they will tell you, do you have money for lawyers? Can you pull it? Just take your loss in hell and all of those things. But by the way, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they surprised Africa, actually.
2-0.
Yeah, too convincing. And it was even a wasteful 2-0, actually. I saw the match. We could have gone like 4-5, especially on Akko Adams. That is his name. But it was convincing. The Algerians had no shot on target. None. In 90 minutes. It was as bad I mean, it was as convincing. Let's talk about the bad performance of Algerians. I think we should rather talk about the convincing performance. And I think Africa is afraid of the Super Eagles right now. I've seen many journalists report from Algeria, from Egypt. In fact, somebody said, a particular sport journalist from Algeria said, it will take Morocco, because we are facing Morocco, and that's a host nation. They're a very good country. And of course, they're the home country. The whole of the stadium will be red on that day, just like. And
I was seeing, our own sports journalists right here, Joseph, we're saying that Moroccans are buying all of the tickets, trying to
stifle out any form of support.
Nigerians, but it's not going to work.
The guy had to said maybe Morocco has to choose the referee that they want for themselves. You know, that would be an extra. That would not be a permitted thing. But what he was saying is one-on-one, man-to-man. I think the Super Eagles are. In fact, I saw a Ghanaian blogger this morning say, when did the Super Eagles get this good? Because that was convincing. We hope they won't drop the ball at the biggest stage right now.
And that brings me to, I remember Fisaya Dairu saying, you asked him to predict. And he said it was going to enter a penalty shootout. And extra time. Well, and he just could not say. I know he just could not say. Oh no,
because he works with the boys. He's very much experienced as a sport journalist, so it was a close call. Because the Algerians were that good, but how they were rendered, the Foxes were picked up by the Eagles. Actually, 8 points. And I don't want. I don't want to wax too lyrical. Let's win the cup. Actually, because last year we were almost winning. Last time, before Cote d'Ivoire did whatever they did, that's why we are toning it down.
Being the best loser,
to winning the cup, and that's what happens with own country. Well, the farther they go, the stronger they become. So
and I'm just going to say
4 teams are remaining: Nigeria, Egypt, Senegal, and Morocco.
All right, whatever it is Super Eagles is doing, whether from the coaches to the trainings to even NFF or whatever, all of you, keep doing that thing that you're doing. Whatever it is you're doing differently at this time, we love it.
That's working.
And we are rooting for you. We want you to bring the cup home, and we know you can do it.
Go, guys, go. Actually, in fact, I will have dedicated this morning's program to that. But if they win the Nations Cup, actually,
the whole show.
A substantial part, not a whole show. A substantial part of this show will be, dedicated to them.
All right.
Because they are doing greatly at the moment. Don't see, man. Akko, Ademola Lukman, Nwabali was on holiday on that day.
They won't be able to. I mean, Nwabali, I think 3 of them will not be able to represent Nigeria in the next games, right?
Okay, I only know of Wilfred Ndidi was carded actually, but then let's have a good game actually. All the best to them. Take this quick break, and when we return, we take a look at the headlines from our major dailies. All right, we kickstart the headline segment from the Vanguard newspaper. Quick one. Rivers crisis. Why I said dogs are barking. Fubara. Why I said dogs are barking. That's from Fubara. With riders, Tinubu can sack me if I no longer offer anything. That's credited to Wike. And here Wike and Mauli avoid impeachment comment at Port Harcourt rally. And there is a plot to stop legislative proceeding Rivers Assembly. Below that, you have the picture of the Bishop of Ole Diocese, Right Reverend John Arapo, the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Aborewari, with other pressings there. Below that, loans to manufacturers shrink to 2.1 trillion naira, a drop in 5 sectors, 17.5% to 16.43 trillion naira in 6 months. And away from that, local government accounts Osun files charges against bank officials. Hearing holds January 30. Local government accounts Osun files charges against bank officials. Hearing holds January 30. And Tinubu broke education pact. Abandoned students abroad at equal alleges. Tinubu broke education pact. Abandoned students abroad at equal alleges. And NMA fought media trial over Chimamanda's son's death. Okay. Away from that, insecurity, a release of 70 bandits sparks outrage in Katsina. 6 killed in Niger, Sokoto communities. I just hope this is not true, because I saw that news yesterday where it was reported that some 70 bandit-related individuals or banditry-related individuals were released as part of peace pact with bandits, actually, meaning, I don't understand, but Vanguard has it. Insecurity. Release of 70 bandits sparks outrage in Katsina. 6 killed in Niger, Sokoto communities. And from the humor scene, Mr. and Mrs. says, you said I'm your number one, yet there are other women in your life. And Mr. responds, dear, no number stands in isolation. So for number one to maintain his position, other numbers must exist. That is the vintage mister there. All right. And I'm sure you don't want to wait for the response of Mrs. on that particular statement again. That'll be all from the Vanguard.
All right, now let's move to the front page of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And the banner headline here says, Katsina defends release of 70 bandits. Katsina defends release of 70 bandits. About that, just below the nameplate, Saraki Olubadan to lead 23rd Daily Trust's dialogue, right? Besides that, 22 die and Abuja Kaduna Road crashes. Below that, to the bottom strip now, there's this picture there says the interdenominational church service to commemorate the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day across states yesterday. The faction, Kwankwaso's loyalists skip Governor Yusuf's outing. The faction, Kwankwaso's loyalists skip Governor Yusuf's outing. Fulbara urges calm. Lawmakers insist on impeachment. 11 killed as farmers. Herders clash in Taraba. 2026, 1.07 billion naira voted for Tinubu. Shetima's residences renovations. 2026, 1.07 billion naira voted for Tinubu. Shetima's residences renovations.
Renovation what?
1.7 billion naira renovations. All right, those are the headlines, interesting headlines on Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right, so much for renovation. Whoever did the last renovation, maybe he did a bad work.
Yeah, for us to be renovating
every year.
Almost 3 years into an administration.
You said 3 years? Last year, there was a renovation budget. Money voted in the budget for renovation. You remember, you forgot the Jordan Barracks and the VP residence in Abuja.
At the inception of the administration, they renovated.
They always renovating.
Budgeted for yachts. There was money budgeted for new vehicles. Remember, let's not just go into all of this. But Nigerians should keep asking questions.
Who is renovating for Nigerians?
The renovator must be doing a very bad job.
I'm telling you.
Renovating company.
All right. And that particular budget actually passed through a particular institution called the National Assembly, actually. because it's just the way it is. All right, away from that, you have these Punch newspaper 2026 budget twist. MDAs inject 3.5 trillion naira new project despite federal government freeze. MDAs inject 3.5 trillion naira new project despite federal government freeze. With a rider, power, transport, health dominate new spendings as fresh projects take 15% of capital budget. And Armed Forces Day, federal government governance hail soldiers' sacrifices. The work of our heroes past shall never be in vain. Federal government proposes 41 billion to upgrade 109 foreign missions. And here, Wema Bank introduces Voice Banking on alert. Wike ends local government tours. Assembly alleges plot to stall Fubara's impeachment. And INEC faces legal heat over quote-unquote missing 55.9 billion 2019 election funds. And Chimamanda's solicitors write Lagos Hospital and doctor suspended. All right. Well, that'll be all from the Punch newspaper for today.
All right, let's check out this on Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. The banner headline here says federal government set to end ASU crisis. Hence the riders to sign fresh agreements January 14. Approves 40% salary increase for academic staff. Deal to include revamped university funding model. Right. Mudfwang still holding PDP mandate despite the faction. That's according to Jang. Wants INEC on interference in party affairs. 2027, Kwankwaso will not be allowed to contest on our platform. NNPP. Kwankwaso will not be allowed to contest on our platform, says NNPP. Kwamwan writes Abiodun over exclusion from Awujale nomination process. And beside that, how illegal miners, bandits combined to attack Old Oyo National Park. And the writers here attack as retaliation against arrest of illegal miners. Why attackers destroyed Forest Guards detention camp. That's on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Above the nameplates, local government accounts Osun files charges against UBA officials. Hearing holds January 30. The faction, death, court cases leave Labour Party with 0 senators. ADC gains, displaces Labour Party in sad position. APGA, NMPP, SDP hold 1 seat each. That is on page 14. It's quite interesting that most of the parties except the APC and the newly consolidated parties are having issues. NMPP has just joined, the list of parties that are having issues as well. Right. These are the headlines right here on Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
All right. So much to really look into in the course of the program today, but then that will be after now. Stay with us.